Okay, we're talking about weight loss today on the health tip. Here's a seven-step process that shows how the body actually loses weight. Because I think this is really interesting. A lot of people are working on this with their health goal, and to understand how your body actually sheds weight is helpful. I'm a big believer in visualization, right? If you understand how something happens, how something works, and you're thinking about it, you're just helping your body do what you want it to do. Don't forget that this mind of yours is the driver. So number one, you start eating in a calorie deficit, right? So you eat fewer calories than your body needs, or you burn more through movement. This creates an energy gap that forces your body to tap into stored fuel. Now, a little caveat here, okay? When you start eating protein rich, right? When you start eating 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you want to achieve, not the weight you are now, but the desired weight, 1 gram per pound of body weight, you start eating that amount of protein and you're not going to have a problem being in a calorie deficit. This is what I think is so kind of funny. Through the years, I talk to people and they're like, oh, I'm doing this diet, and I'm doing intermittent fasting and I'm doing keto or I'm doing this or whatever. And they think it's the protocol that's helping, And the truth is that it's the restriction, right? You're sticking to a restrictive diet. And so you're eating less by nature, because there's just less foods that you can graze on. So it's not necessarily the protocol, the type of food you're eating, but it's that the protocol is making you eat less, if that makes sense. And the same goes for intermittent fasting, right? Oh, I'm dropping weight like crazy. It's the intermittent fasting. Well, yeah, intermittent fasting is an awesome tool, but also you're eating in a window and you're just eating less, So that's the number one thing, is you get into a calorie deficit. And when that begins, okay, a hormonal shift releases fat. So lower insulin levels signal the fat cells to release triglycerides, the stored form of fat, into the bloodstream as a fatty acid and glycerol. So that's what happens in the second step. Third is fat is mobilized for energy. So these fatty acids travel to your muscles and organs, where they enter your cells, power plants, the mitochondria, which we talk about here all the time, to be burned for energy. This is why it's so important that you have healthy mitochondria, health at the cellular level, right? I kind of liken it like the stagnant pond. If your mitochondria are, not operating at optimum performance, the cells are kind of inflamed, right? You're dealing with inflammation. It's like a slow, gunky pond. And when you start eating whole foods, that inflammation goes down. The mitochondria can operate at optimum levels, and then you have healthier cells. And the other thing is, when you stop putting in the highly inflammatory foods like breads and pasta and oils and all that stuff, then you're not carrying around the inflammation either. So as much as 10 pounds, I was telling someone this morning, it's not all just fat. It's actually inflammation. And when you stop putting food in and you support your body with supplementation like Cellular Reset, that's full of potent polyphenol that helps reduce inflammation, then, all that inflammation goes away. And you're not holding on to as much water either, because you're not as inflamed. So it's kind of like you're just building a better energy system in your body, like a real energy system, not a fake one. Fat breaks down into CO2 and water. So inside the mitochondria, fatty acids go through a process called oxidation, producing carbon dioxide, water, and ATP, which is energy. Then you breathe out fat. And I think a lot of people don't know this. So most of the mass from fat loss leaves your body as carbon dioxide through your lungs. So about 84% of the fat's weight exits via exhalation, and the rest becomes water, which you excrete through sweat, urine, and other fluids. So, that's one thing I don't think people think about. You're actually breathing out the weight. And the water is flushed away. So the water created during fat metabolism is removed through your kidneys, your skin, and your breath, further reducing your weight. Those are those detox pathways. And what happens when we're highly inflamed? What happens when we're holding on to toxins in the fat around, visceral fat around our organs is, it can't be it's not let go. So you have to calm the inflammation. How do you calm the inflammation? Like I said, through diet, supplemental support. Okay. And then your detox pathways will start doing their job. They'll start doing their job more efficiently. They'll have less stuff to work on. And so they work better. And number 7, this cycle continues. So as long as you maintain a calorie deficit and stay metabolically active, your body keeps pulling from stored fat, oxidizing it and breathing it away until you reach a healthy balance. So those are kind of the steps of weight loss. So the reason why I wanted to lay this out is because I want you to have a very clear visual of weight loss. You really need to imagine it from a cellular level, because when you're carrying extra weight, there's a lot of inflammation in the body, and that makes it so the mitochondria may not be operating at optimum levels, and certainly cellular health. Cellular health is, it's I want to say damaged. It's not operating at optimum level, and so by decreasing inflammation, you're creating a better motor, you're creating a better motor that burns through things. And so low sugar, of course, very low sugar, and high volume foods that are full of water, full of fiber. These types of foods help contribute to healthy mitochondria. They lower inflammation, right? Which is key. And it helps your body release the fat. Remember, I think especially when it comes to weight loss, people feel like they have to fight for weight loss. I got to work so hard. I got to fight. And really, storing fat is your body's communication for protection. It's protecting you. It feels like it needs to hold on to that fat in order to protect you, protect your organs, protect you from toxins. Toxins are held in your fat, protect you even maybe from some emotional things. It's never against you. And I know especially women get so frustrated with their bodies and they feel like they have to fight against their bodies. That's not the right course of action. The right course of action is love and understanding and listening and responding to the communication you're getting. You work with your body. It's a biological miracle. It's freaking awesome, actually, especially when you understand its communication, because then you can work with it instead of against it. I'm so glad you joined me today for Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be back tomorrow right here at 3 o'clock. Join me.